Hello and welcome to another card making video on my YouTube channel. I'm back today for the Not Too Shabby design team, creating a card for you that features the Sunny Studios Enchanted stamp set and die. This is a picture of the stamp set. You can see it has a lot of cute images, including a castle and a carriage and princes and princesses. It's really an adorable set. And it does have dies, and if you're interested in this or any other stamp products, the Not Too Shabby shop has a great selection, and there will be a discount code below in my description box where you can save 10% on most items in the store. Here's a close-up of my card. I'm really happy with how it turned out. This is the Frog Prince fairy tale, and we've got our little frog, we've got our little princess, the castle, and a couple other things that we're going to show you here how we created. First thing is the background. I used distress oxides to create clouds in the background. I'm going to show you how I did that. The colors that I used were spun sugar, picked raspberry, wilted violet, shaded lilac. And I'm going to be using makeup blending brushes and a homemade stencil that I created using a die from Lawn Fawns. This is the Fluffy Cloud Border dies. What I did was I went ahead and I cut those out with some heavy duty cardstock that I had, and then I'm using that as my stencil for my cards. And the cloud borders here are different shapes and sizes, so I just alternate between the different shapes and sizes. So I'm starting out here with my spun sugar, which is a very light pink. And the clouds have, when it's done, the clouds are light pink and varying degrees of pink and purples. Sort of to go along with the overall theme of the card and matches the princess's dress. Alright, so I'm going to fast forward this a little bit, this section, because it is basically just me ink blending different colors onto different sizes of this cloud stencil that I created, and using distress oxides. Okay, so while this is speeding up here and it's just basically ink blending, I will let you know that the Not Too Shabby design team consists of 15 different people, and pretty much every day one of us is posting a video featuring stamp sets that you can find in the Not Too Shabby shop. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a discount code that you can access if you're interested in purchasing any of those items, and the discount code is valid on most of the items in the shop. And these items include not only Sunny Studios, which is the stamp set that this is the line, the brand that I'm using, Sunny Studios. This is a Sunny Studios stamp that I'm using right now, but there's Lawn Fawn, My Favorite Things, Honeybee, CC Designs, a lot of different manufacturers of stamps. And when you register for the Not Too Shabby shop, you become eligible for reward points. And so then you receive rewards for the purchases that you make. And as those rewards accumulate, then you are eligible for free stamps. So that's a really nice program. Okay, now that I've completed my ink blending, I'm ready to start coloring my images. I've stamped all of them from this stamp set onto a piece of 110-pound cardstock, and I'm going to use the card that I made as my prototype as my guide. so that I know the colors that I'm picking are close to the ones that I originally used in my original card. I'm going to be using a variety of Copic markers, and these are the Copic markers. They're alcohol markers. And I think I start with the little frog. This fairy tale about the frog prince is what the card is based on. And so the frog is a pretty important part of that. And we're going to go ahead and color in his little jacket first. And I try to use the colors with the markers facing up so that you're able to see the colors. And I'm actually coloring this little pendant on his little coat and then coloring in his jacket. And it looks like that's B05. And what I'll do is I'll fast forward a little bit in this section after I get the frog colored in. And it's a very small image. And even a very small image takes me a while to color in. I'm coloring his little crown with some blue to represent the gemstones of his crown. And then I use a yellow for the crown and his eyes. And I use 2 different colors of green for his frog body. I'm going to be fast forwarding through the coloring. I used some greens and mostly green on the frog at this point. And that's G17 I use for outline, and then YG03. And I'm blending here. I use a jelly roll pen to put a little bit of freckles on the frog. Then I move down to the princess and I use Y06 for her hair. I think I go on to color her hair in 2 different colors of yellow, and then I start working on her dress after that. So this is Y13. And yeah, Y13. Actually, I used 3 different colors of yellow for her hair. This princess has a nice, pretty gown on. I would say not as fancy as the one above her. So there's 2 princesses in this set. One has a bun in her hair and the other one doesn't. So I'm using the one without the bun in her hair and the fancy ball gown. That's RV06. Just blending that for the dress. And like I said, I'm going to let this go fast forward through the rest and try to explain what colors I'm using along the way. Now I'm going up to the little hat, again with the RV06. I think that's RV32. And then R43 I can't tell from here. But I usually basically keep using the same 3 colors, pink, Copic markers over and over again. I'm coloring the little wand in. I'm going to play some music now while I finish coloring in my characters for the card. Okay, so I have my images colored, and now we're going to move on to the next step. This next section just involves me putting together all the different die cut pieces. I have the lawn fawn border here, the grassy border, which I use, and I got some pattern paper and I made a nice little grassy area. The frog I put on a little oval blue area that represents a pond. The princess goes on next, as well as her golden ball. If you're familiar with the traditional Princess and the Frog Prince, she loses her ball in the pond, and the frog saves it for her. He has a favor, and he asks her to let him come in to the castle to eat with her and sit at the table and eat from her bowl, and then sleep in her room on her pillow. And the next morning he wakes up and he's a handsome prince. But leading up to all this, she treats him pretty bad and doesn't like him because he's a warty frog. But in the end, she ends up realizing that you can't judge a book by the cover. That's the moral of the fairy tale. So that sentiment, I used the Brutus Monoe charming, where it says, "You're so charming." I used Brutus Monoe love letters embossing powder, but I first inked the sentiment with some VersaFine Clair in pink, and then I embossed it. And then these clouds are embossed with Robin's Nest, which is the new Brutus Monoe embossing powder. I really like it. I think it's really pretty, and it has nice sparkles in it, so it's perfect for clouds. Here I'm just putting some extra foam tape behind the princess's head because it was lying too flat. I have some glitter cardstock here that I'm going to adhere the panel to, and then I just have some pink cardstock for the card base that I'm going to adhere my frame, which is the glitter cardstock, and then the panel. I'm going to stick that all together. And this is getting towards the end of the video here. You'll be able to see both cards side by side here, and if in the next shot, but you'll see there all of the components put together of this really cute, adorable card. And that was my prototype card. And the inside it says, "You're my happily ever after." So for Valentine's Day, such a cute card for Valentine's Day, such an adorable stamp set. This is from Sunny Studios. It's called Enchanted. And if you're interested in purchasing it, you can get it at the Not Too Shabby shop. There'll be a link below to the shop as well as a discount code. Please check it out. There's a lot that they have to offer there. And here's one last view of my stamp. One last view of my card. If you're not a subscriber, I would encourage you to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like this card. And when I hit 500 subscribers, I'm going to be having a huge giveaway. So please spread the word. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.